So after masking your last, you draw your center line. This is the center line, and then after that you take a measurement. Take a measurement from here down to this point, 1 inch. 1 inch, that is going to be the instep point. 1 inch, that is going to be the instep point. Then locate your lateral ball point on both sides. Place your tape on this side of it, take it to the other side, and then you draw your vamp line. You draw your vamp line. And then divide the vamp line into 2. The total length is 3 inch, so the half is going to be 1.5 inch. That is going to be our low lateral instep point, and this is it here. This is it. Then the next thing is to measure your counter point, and the counter point is going to be 2.5 inch. 2.5 inch. Then place your tape on that spot, your counter point, take it down to your low lateral instep point, and then you draw your quarter line. This is the quarter line, you take it. Now we are going to start the drawing from here by measuring down to this point, 1.5 inch. 1.5 inch, that is going to be the length of the tongue. Other side, 1.5 inch. Then you take the drawing from that point, take it down to the quarter line. After that, you take a measurement from the cap towards the side, 1 inch measurement, 1 inch, and then you take the drawing to that point. Then measure from the back, 2.5 inch. That is where the feather is going to drop at this point, 2.5 inch. And then you take this down to this point. And with that, we are done with the sketching. Hope you can see that clearly. So the next thing now is to cut the pattern out and then develop it. So hope you can see it clearly. We are done with the sketching. So let's cut the pattern out. When you must have peeled the pattern out from the last, draw a straight line on your cardboard paper. Then place from the cap to the vamp point on the straight line, and the rest is going to be above the straight line. So you need to take your time to arrange the pattern on the cardboard paper to make sure it laps properly on the cardboard paper. So you have to take your time. give some slight cuts where necessary to achieve that. Just to make sure you minimize the crease. So once you are done doing that, you add your lasting allowance. I'm going to be adding 1 inch round, so you do that round the pattern, 1 inch as the lasting allowance. Then after that, cut the pattern into shape. Then after cutting the pattern into shape, cut out your marking dots on these 2 places. And then the next thing is to spring the vamp. So if you look on the cardboard paper, you see our straight line. So right now we are going to spring the vamp. Before then, let me take the vamp line down to the stitching allowance. So after doing that, we are going to cut the vamp line from both ends to the center. Actually, our cutting is stopping at our low lateral instep point. So after the cutting, you place the pattern on the straight line, get your masking tape ready, and then you spring. Make sure that the center line aligns with the straight line on the cardboard paper. And then when you are sure that is done, you use your masking tape to pin it at that point, and the vamp is springed. So after this, the next thing is to separate the pattern. Now fold your cardboard paper into 2, place the pattern at the center of the folding, and then you trace out the first half of the pattern. Then add your stitching allowance at this spot for the tongue. So you add about 0.3 inch or 0.2 inch round at this spot. Then after that, you cut out your marking dots on the necessary outlines. Once you are done, cut the pattern into shape. So with this, we are done with this part of the pattern. So you can now separate it. If you separate it, you now have, you see the stitching, the marking dots, see them. So you now open, you have your 3D pattern. So that is very simple. So let's do the same on the other part. Fold your cardboard paper into two. Then place the pattern on the center again, and then you mark out the tongue. After marking it out, you cut it into shape also. So with that, we are done with the pattern making. So remember to note the facing. So here is the outside of the pattern. So we have marked it. So you do the same on this one too. Locate the facing so that you don't make mistake. So we mark these two. So this is just to note the facing of the pattern. And with that, we are done. So this one is facing this way. So that is on that. So you can see it. So hope you can see that. So if you have any question, feel free to drop it in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe and also hit the bell icon to get updates, because more videos are still on the way. We are soon going to drop video on how to make the footwear. Thank you and have a nice day.